Hi, this is Chaplain Aram from the Gardens at St. Elizabeth, and this is the reflection for this week. I want to talk about Damien Echols. He's one of the West Memphis Three, about whom the documentary series Paradise Lost was based. As an 18-year-old, Damien was wrongfully convicted of murder. Recently, he was interviewed and asked what wisdom he might offer as someone who spent half his life on death row before being freed. His response to me was startling. He said this: "The number one thing that helped me stay sane was figuring out that I could not live for the future." He then said this as he reflected on the current pandemic, the COVID pandemic we're all experiencing. He said, "What it came down for me in prison was having to create a life for myself. Not making myself insane, constantly wondering, when is this going to be over? Whether it's news about the pandemic or your possible upcoming execution date, you can't sit around dwelling on that stuff or you're going to stew in fear and misery." You see, we're not going to get through this pandemic by setting our hearts on any events in the future. We're not going to get through this by setting our minds or fears about the future. As Jesus said, today has enough troubles of its own. So it's kind of a waste of energy to import our imagined troubles of tomorrow that aren't even real or true yet. So here's the thing. We can turn resolutely to these brutal facts, and even so, we will prevail. There is a global pandemic, and we will prevail. There will be death, and we will prevail. There are long hoped for events in the future that will not happen, yet we will prevail. And there will be lost things and people and income and dreams, and still we will prevail. And all we really have is this day, and it is enough. I'd like to end with this quote by Frederick Buechner, one of my favorites. "Here is the world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Do not be afraid."